Great.
Okay, all right. I'd like to call our work session meeting to. I guess it is. I'd like to call our work session meeting to order. And the first item on our agenda this evening is operations.
All right, good evening. Tonight we have Mike Sainer from CHA. He's going to do a presentation of the high school renovation and what's going on there. Turn it over to Mike.
All right.
All right, hello, Ms. Well, thank you guys for having me tonight. I appreciate it. Appreciate the opportunity and time to talk to you.
Yeah.
There it is. Oop.
There we go.
Appreciate it. Awesome. All right, as you said, my name is Mike from CHA. I'm glad to be here. I really appreciate the time and opportunity. I'm going to go through a couple quick slides for you, give you a more visual update. We'll talk through what's going on so everybody can kind of see the great progress that we're making so far. All right, so just as a brief summary here, we do have a phased project, so I wanted to kind of just walk us through that kind of quickly. I know there's a lot of colors going on here. One of the images is a site plan, the other one is actually sort of floor plans of the building. So we do have a lot of work going on. All the parts in blue, really, except the gym over there, that is areas that have things going on. So there's a lot of part of your building that has activity going on this first summer. And then along the site, as you've been pretty driven by or been around, we have construction activity going on pretty much all the sides, probably about three quarters, if not all of them. So a lot of great things going on, a lot of activity and a lot of good momentum moving forward. So kind of wanted to touch base here on where we've been and what's been going on so far. So we really, obviously, all starts off with demolition. We've had ongoing abatement under DEP protocols and supervision. We've had areas in the cafeteria, the center core, the auditorium, and the library all have some form of renovations going on and demolition started. You have all the great contractors, mechanical and plumbing guys starting their work, doing layouts, all the stuff above the ceilings that you don't get to see, but are awesome parts of HVAC and domestic water lines and new lights and all those great features that we'll have in this building. All that wonderful stuff is going on above the ceilings and get prepped and ready to go so that we can start really kind of visualizing and closing up the spaces to turn over the first phase. So with that, I wanted to add a couple more pictures too. So I really
I'm sorry, just a quick question. So
Yeah.
that middle picture shows the library with the books still in it.
Yeah, so they are all covered and coated now, and then the floor is removed, with the carpet, right? And then everything will go back in and around that. And then it'll be clean before it's turned over.
So you're telling me those books are covered?
They are now, yep. We just took off drop ceilings and sections of drywall underneath them now.
Interesting.
And then we have some other sections up here. Where we have in the top corner, you have new interior framing that is actually part of the Bear Academy and some offices and some IT spaces that are over in the corner of J.C. Mills. You have some large center sections of what is the auditorium hallway entrance, I'm gonna call that itself. And then again, some new ductwork going on in the areas of J.C. Mills. And the bottom picture is actually the cafeteria. What was the cafeteria? That would be running throughout as it is looking forward. So now going on to some outside stuff, which is a little easier to see as you're driving by. There's been a lot of activity outside. We have the whole entire site fencing up and secured. We've been starting on large-scale infiltration basins that it won't be visible at the end. It really is the holding for stormwater and items like that. They're in parking lots and other areas. We have excavation prep for the building additions. So here we start 3 different additions, A, B, and C, that occur at different parts. And then we are relocating existing utilities and adding new utilities as we go around the building. And as you can see in the bottom, we are starting full-scale demolition of actual building sections itself. So that was the old entrance to the auditorium. So that is no longer there. It's in preparation for the new future admin suite that'll sit in that spaces and so forth. To talk through some more aerial views, you can see here, if you're along the 209 section out front there, topsoil stripping and prep work for a future parking lot is going on. That's a picture in the middle, bottom down there. Again, the admin area is getting prepped for foundation layout. And then across the main bus drop-off parking lot, we'll have a lot of utilities going on. New electrical service is being run across the parking lot currently. We have a small infiltration basin being installed. And then we have a whole gamut of other relocation stuff, activities going on. So that's kind of what we have going on at the moment. And what we look forward coming into next is we're going to be continuing all the site work. The area there will be large sections restored, including the bus parking lot will be turned back over to you guys at the beginning of the school year. So we'll get a lot of those things done. We'll have some new driveways, some other work being completed. Utilities will still be ongoing, and we'll be able to see the building's additions really taking shape as we near the end of the summer months here. So inside, we'll have a fast push to turn over a bunch of those areas, a bunch of those classroom spaces, library spaces, hallways, corridors, all that will be, gung-ho to get that done by the end of the summer. So that's really where we end up sitting right now.
And we're on schedule?
We are on schedule. We are on schedule.
Could you just adjust the new gym, how that changed?
We did. So upon further review and looking back and forth, we have that postponed into the later seasons to make sure that we have proper HVAC and protection all done so that we don't have any damages with the HVAC, with the floor, new floor itself. We want to give the best possible finish for that product.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any questions? Lots going on.
Lots going on.
Lots going on.
Glad
And Mike's here every day,
we are.
making sure everything's going.
Oh my gosh. Hot, rainy, cold days.
At this time, is there anyone in the public that has any questions?
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you guys.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, thank you, Mike.
Yep.
All right, so as you can see, the pictures don't even do justice to what's going on over there. It is torn to shreds, inside and out. The contractors, the Myco guys, Low Bar, Wing Gap, have all been awesome, very upfront with anything that's going on. I'd like to say it's been fun, but it has been kind of fun, but it's a little stressful, but it's going good. But, and I wanted to give a shout out to the custodians and the maintenance guys. High school custodians, I've been getting compliments from this guy from CHA, Mike Ashley, the contractors, just regular construction workers. They say, we work in schools all the time, and these custodians are just amazing. And they really are. I mean, if you see what they're doing over there, trying to stay one step ahead of all the contractors, moving stuff down from second floor down to the first floor. It's, and the maintenance guys, same way. They're pitching in wherever they're needed. Big shout out to both those groups. Doing really well. That's all I have for that. If anybody has any more questions? Okay, we're gonna move on to the tennis court repairs. So I got, ATC Corp, with the company that installed the tennis court back in 2016, resurfaced it. We've had some issues where the outer perimeter has failed and rolled up a little bit this past March. So we got some, took a little bit of time, but we got three alternatives to do it. I believe everybody has the alternatives in front of them. My recommendation, and also conferring with Mr. Krasinski, I like alternate two. To me, it makes the most sense, and that one would be they're gonna repair the outside perimeter, plus you're gonna power wash the court. The court has a lot of water stains over it, just for over the years, since 2016. To me, that makes the most sense, but I'm gonna kind of put that out there to you guys to look at that, and,
And you said 2016,
correct,
so it's not even 10 years old yet.
correct.
And
Still
what,
got some life in it.
that's what I was gonna
It's on
ask.
the capital improvement plan. Mike and I are gonna go over that. So
What is your difference between the first one, the 59, and then the second one, you're saying 33? What's the
with the 59, they would actually repaint the court,
repainted?
repaint all the lines with like an acrylic paint, all the lines, the surface area, the different color blues, the lines. After confirming with Jim, we looked at that and we're
We
thinking,
talked to the coaches, the lines and all are good, they're bright still and all. It's the sealing it so the wind doesn't come under it again and lift it. I shared the video that coach sent us to Randy, he passed it on. Literally, it get under in it, wave the whole court, because it's a substrate on top of the asphalt, is what it is. And it was sealed around the edges.
So that's what you want to see around the edges there, but, and then says there's a possibility of watermarks. That's what it is.
when they power wash it, I'm like, if you ever power wash your deck, like you just can't quite get it all sometimes, or it just takes a while for it to blend in with the sun and it all blend back in. So you might see where they maybe were a little bit low at one spot and took it down. They made it super clean in the area, it isn't quite as clean. But, these guys do this all the time, so it's been done professionally. We have a power washer, but I really don't want our guys touching it.
And then they're out of Maryland, you said we hadn't used them before?
They're the ones that initially installed it.
Initial side. Yeah, only because I saw what they, this is a problem, you have to go to Maryland to legally deal with that. I'm like, ooh.
Is there any type of warranty after they do the work?
I did not,
I didn't see anything. in the
I didn't see
contract.
anything about that.
So I guess my worry would be is if it would come up again.
So in the original contract, if I read it correctly, Tammy, help me out.
I had our solicitor's office review it, the initial one, there was a 1-year warranty, with the installation of it, but that was it, that's all there was, just for that first year.
Okay.
And this would still be under, there's a 10-year piece too, to the warranty, but this was not covered under that.
Okay,
So there would be 1 more year on that piece of the warranty.
So what they did is, what they're going to do around the edges is basically put it to where it was when it was first put in there, and that's kind of sealing it
Correct,
right
you're
here.
gonna reseal the edges.
Just
So
so
you
you
expect it to
power
last
wash that
long.
area,
This
and then glue it down, so you get power wash, so glue it here to a nice clean surface, glue it down, and then power wash the whole surface itself.
And we provide water, of course, that's what's sitting there.
Yeah.
We got about the shrubs on the side, will any disinfect the shrub, I mean, there's no chemicals, harsh chemicals, there's no.
No.
Mr. Allison.
May need to trim some of it back for access.
No, we're pretty good.
You think? All right.
Okay, thank you.
So did they give us understanding of how, when's, in their interpretation, when would the next time we be painting those lines? Like, do we do it now? I mean, we saw how foolish things have gotten in high school of not renovating and keeping up with the,
I don't know that it warrants the cost, to be honest with you, because you're looking at,
but if we have to do it 5 years down the road,
But I think it's also on the capital improvement too, to redo it. So if you're gonna redo it within the next 5 years, why put that money out if you're gonna redo it? We would need to get it playable for our fall athletes, our girls will be starting practice and all too. So I understand the adjustability. So how do you weigh that, is
Yeah,
my
and-
question.
is the capital improvement, is it building another set somewhere else, or is it in the same existing?
we would just redo that.
Okay, what the new ones, okay. Yeah,
So this is a Band-Aid until we get 5 years or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, the surface itself is in still good condition. I mean, I can see easy 5 years out of that.
So if it's good beyond the capital improvement, then do we just do it to do it, or do we?
Well,
that's-
I mean, once, they're just reviewing the capital improvement plan. It's not quite ready yet for us. They have to prioritize things. You know, depending on what priority it has as to when it would be done. And if we see, because I remember something, and I'll tell you that story in a minute, but you know, depending if it's scheduled, let's say it's a priority, whatever number, and it's scheduled for 5 years from now, and it's still in good shape, we could push it back. I mean, I remember someone saying to me, we needed a new chiller at the old auditorium. And I said, we don't need a new chiller in that old auditorium. It's freezing in there when you go in there. And we pushed it back and it was fine. So, you know, it just depends, you know, you have to have some common
Yeah, so
sense
it's not-
with some things too,
Okay.
you know? So, I mean, you know, so what's the pleasure? Because I think it's something that needs to get done in time for our athletes to get on it.
Yeah, so practice starts August 4th.
So-
First home match is August 23rd.
I mean, is it something that if we don't approve this until next meeting, is it still gonna be okay?
If the board members here, if they're not, remember Dr. Conrad can sign the contract before the next board meeting and then officially board approve it.
Just need to know.
Okay.
And then Randy and Mr. Krasinski.
I just
get
worried that
the vendor.
It needs to get done in time. So what's the pleasure?
I mean, I guess if we can get it done for the lesser amount and down 5 years down the road, we look at, what do we have to do?
Yeah.
But we do need to get a playing service for the athletes.
Mhm.
That's first and
First most.
foremost.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're okay with the option 2, the
Yeah.
30-some thousand.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, there you go.
Okay.
Okay,
I talked with CJ, the guy I've been dealing with. I let him know that I will be calling him shortly and scheduling this. So we're on track with that.
and I mean, the way the weather's been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
All right, some just district project updates. We got a lot of stuff going on, and pretty much every school getting hit with something. They started the PD carpet removal today. I'm hoping by the end of next week that is complete. The rekeying project, they worked at the admin in middle school, that's just about done. They are working out at PD right now. Hopefully by the end of the next week, they'll be done there. And then heading down to PDE. Master Library Streamside Solutions, we're switch over from School Dude. I've been working with Jason and Chuck and Alex and Jim Krasinski here, getting that set up. Hopefully we'll have that up and going before the start of the school year. Middle school furniture, Dr. Howard's gonna give you an update on that, but I just want to give a little shout out to the middle school custodians because they're moving a lot of furniture. And the new stuff coming, so they're moving that, or the company's moving that, but they're still making room, so shout out to them too. Okay, yeah, middle school moving the furniture. So every school is kind of getting hit with something. You know, PD got the carpet, middle school got the furniture, Cub Academy got moved up to PVI on account of it, so pretty much nobody's going unscathed this summer.
I didn't know that. but-
But, yeah, they're all doing good.
Okay.
That's all I have for that update. Any questions on those updates?
Anyone from the public, anything under operations? Okay, thank you, Randy.
All right, thank you.
We will move on to finance.
And since I've talked so much at the last couple of district planning meetings, I don't have a whole lot for tonight. So item A are the cap reserve, the 2018, 2023, and the 2024 bond reviewed for at May 31st, 2025. The capital reserve account has an available balance of $7,088,344.36. The 2018 bond has an available balance of $0. 2023 bond has an available balance of 0, and the 2024 bond has an available balance of 0. All interest earned during the month of May has been rolled into construction costs, which will lower the amount needed for the high school renovation project and other district facility needs. Does anybody have any questions? Our 2025 bond settled last Wednesday. The money was deposited into our account. So next month, you're gonna see a little bit of a shift in the way I've allocated funds, since we're gonna be spending the 2025 bond first. So I'm gonna change these reports up a little bit. I'll do it so that you can follow it. And that's all I have. Mrs. Sites is gonna review the food service stuff for the month of May.
Good evening. Item B, attached are the cafeteria meal totals for May, which I will go over. The total breakfast meals served were 25,555. Lunch meals served were 53,544. After-school snacks were 12,990. And a la carte sales for the month were $28,055.20. Any questions on that? Item C, attached is the Whitson's May newsletter for your review. That's all I have.
Anyone in the public under finance?
Well, I'm looking at the meals served, we seem to be still going a little higher than we were last year, so it's a positive. I think that's a positive statement from the students and faculty to, to improve the numbers, shows that you're providing the service that they're looking for.
Yes, they're doing a
And we
great job.
appreciate that.
Thank you. I will pass that along.
All right, on to education and curriculum.
My education update right now, the only thing that we've really been working on, we're continuing with the ELA work that we've been doing with each of the buildings, and the PBE teams that have been working the second half of the school year. They are all each meeting one day this summer, and kindergarten has already met, the kindergarten team. We did do HMH the last 2 days of the school year. So we are in a good spot with that, and a lot of PBE, PBI teachers, myself and Mrs. Fiaro and Mr. Earl, we all attended the literacy symposium down at DeSales that the IE put on, and a lot of those teachers were there. So I think they were able to go down there together.
Great.
Nice. But that's all I have really right now with the curriculum, where Mr. Air just have the team together to start the science. And that's where we are with that.
All right, special education?
No, I have one more.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Just because there's so much going on, and as Mr. Smale said, the middle school custodians and the maintenance have been exceptional, and it doesn't sound like a big deal, like, oh, we're getting new furniture. It is, so if you want to show the first picture, that's the cafeteria right now with just pallets and chairs and tables. We had 2 deliveries on Friday, we had 2 deliveries today, we want the semi trucks pull up, so they're huge and they're unloading them. The custodians did an awesome job and had all the floors done upstairs, so those rooms are starting, the furniture's starting to go in, and you want to go to the next, the sample of what we have there. There are wheels on 2 of the casters of the desk, but not on the other. Teachers wanted like their usual desks, but some wanted them to be movable, so this was the best thing that we could find between. The nice thing with these desks is that if, let's say you have only 25 students in your class, the desks stack right on top of each other, and they can just be put in the corner of the room. But what I really like is I love to see the blue and white, because when we went into the classroom, we looked at every color under the sun. They didn't all match, so that's when I think there might be just a couple more pictures. It just shows you the desk can be moved however you like. And they're doing a few other projects. I don't have any pictures of this, but there's the library. They're getting Roxy's done a lot of work with us on different things in the library. She's also going to have a little classroom in the back corner. So this allows multiple classrooms to be down there and working. We have new equipment that's coming in on the back, the room that's connected to the library for STEM. We have two Glowforge, I want to say printers, laser engravers. They've been making, different things. I know that the two teachers that will be using those had some professional development the last 2 days of the school year. So I will keep bringing pictures as they get things done. Originally, none of the furniture was going to be put together till July 21st, but because the custodians did an awesome job and had upstairs ready, they started putting furniture in today. So it's kind of exciting. I have 2 trucks coming tomorrow, 2 trucks coming on Wednesday, and 2 trucks coming on Thursday. So there's a lot of furniture coming. And other projects, I'll bring some pictures of this. The life skills classroom came to me and said that they do so many great activities during the year with everybody in the building that they wanted more space so all the kids can be part of the cooking and cleaning up and those activities. So we have redone their kitchen. Mr. Sean George has been our guy over there, and I've been sending them updated pictures, and they are going to do a big unveiling when the kids come back to the first day of school. So I'll bring pictures as we continue, but it's exciting to see all this stuff happening. So I just wanted to see, because we've had a lot of talk about the furniture, and it was a big expense.
So our custodians have to take the furniture off, once it's off the truck, do our custodians have to put it into the classrooms, or are
They're doing it.
the delivery people are doing it? Wonderful.
No, I have seen our custodians pitching in help.
Help, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, they're doing it, and, because rooms are moving around, another project that we spent a lot of time on, upstairs is, the signage for the middle school.
I saw that.
Chief,
Yeah.
Miller, renumbered, we renumbered the high school when we did it, always. He did PBE and he did the middle school, and nothing needs to be changed with PBI. So we are, it sounds a lot easier as well, but we had to renumber hallways. So we told them, put X amount of desks in these classrooms, but we'll go around once they're all done and we can move them and make sure that they're right. But the signage starts this week. They start the 26th.
I know, we approved that tonight, right?
Do you think?
We approved that signage tonight, I thought,
Yes.
right? Yeah, okay.
Oh, one more thing. We're auctioning off all the old furniture at the middle school.
Oh.
That ends at 10 o'clock tonight, if anybody didn't eat to
I'm gonna tell you, if you had a work area in your garage, those side tables that would be perfect.
Yeah.
for-
That's true.
True.
I don't have one stuff. But there's a lot going on, and it takes all of us here working together, so it's nice to see these things coming together.
Yeah. Very nice. Okay, now it's special education?
Yeah, it's-
Can I
Oh,
just
sorry.
Sorry.
Okay.
I just wanted to just say this publicly, but obviously, I know that you and your team has talked about this literally for months and months and months. And obviously we've had some of our meetings together too about, what does it ultimately look like? But thanks for having that vision. It's really exciting to see it all coming to fruition. And, again, this is all about planning for the future. So, thinking about, when our kids go from classroom A to classroom B to C, and they see that uniformity that they otherwise didn't have, especially in the middle school, but in other buildings. And, a lot of these projects, it's really nice to see. But I know you spend a lot of time to, so
Well,
thank
it's
you
nice
for
the
this.
teachers are very excited about a lot of this.
They
I
were,
think it
yeah.
has renewed some enthusiasm with the programs that we're
It's exciting.
offering, especially with our tech ed and STEM offerings, things that we're doing with with Mr. Jaro,
Yeah.
Mr. Zembauer.
It's exciting.
So it is, and it's
Yeah.
great. Our kids are gonna have
Great
great
for our kids.
opportunities.
Yeah, it is. It's gonna be lovely.
I'm not gonna say it again. Are we ready? All right.
So we're going to give you a brief overview, Christina will do that, of the new reading and math program, Reading Math 180, that we'd like to purchase for middle school and high school for most severe struggling learners. We're talking 3 years or more behind their grade level. We do have the Sunday system in place, as you know, K through 8 for reading. And we've seen some closure of the gap down at the elementary levels, but we've got to focus now on the higher levels to close those wider gaps. Christina and I spoke about Reading Math 180. she brought it to me. I had looked at it, I don't know if you remember, I had looked at it when I first got into this position. Just timing was not right at that time, with COVID and the uncertainty and everything going on, but, we went back at it. And we think that you're gonna really like what Christine has to tell you about.
So yeah, so we were looking for the middle and high school to get a curriculum for our supplemental learning support classrooms. And the supplemental learning support classrooms are more of those block classrooms for reading and math. Some students would go there for reading, some math, some both, depending on their needs. So we thought it was important to adopt a curriculum specific for those classroom teachers to be able to implement with fidelity and have something that they can, beyond adaptations and modifications, that they could work with the students with in those programs. So the Read 180 addresses the 5 pillars of reading, and it really provides that intensive, explicit instruction with a lot of repetition for those students. As Julie stated, these are students that are significantly behind, at least 3 or more years behind in their, from their gen ed peers. We are assembling a data team to look at, there's been some teacher recommendations for students that would be candidates for that classroom. So we're going to be looking at our data, looking at, in July 8th, we have a meeting set up that will look through multiple sources of data to determine who would be a good candidate for that room, again, based on the deficits that they have. Math 180, the same thing. So this would be for the middle and high school at this point, kind of to see how that goes, and we can go from there if we wanted to expand.
I will tell you, and Tim is no longer with us, but through working through litigations and working through mediation meetings, parent attorneys are really hung on Reading Math 180. They really like that program. They specifically ask about it. When Christine and I first sent for the quote, they give you the Cadillac version. I think we opened it at the same time. And literally, I think we both screamed and fell out of our desk chairs right away because it was expensive. But when we went through and took out all the extraneous stuff that you truly just don't need to implement the curriculum with fidelity, we were able to bring that cost way down. What is it like now, 26,000?
20,500.
Yeah, 20,530, and that's coming down from
45,000.
Question, what's the BHA Polk space?
I
How's
was out
that?
there today for a parent meeting, actually. It looks really good out there. ESY will be starting out there this summer, extended school year, so the kids that were at PBE will be transitioning to Polk for the summer. The classrooms look really nice, they're all ready to go. The building was nice and cool, so the AC is still working beautifully. They've done a nice job out there.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
So the cost is $20,531. Is that for so many years? Is it a yearly cost?
That would cover Math 180 and Reading 180, so the math and the reading curriculum, all student and teacher licenses for a year, including paper, pencil materials, 2-hour online live instructor training for the staff, as well as a 1-hour live leadership training for people, administrators that will be helping with the implementation. That goes hand in hand for both, so that's the reading and the math together.
And where will the dollars come from?
It was budgeted
It was budgeted, okay?
in special ed.
And then our special education teachers will be using it?
So we have one teacher at the middle school who will be using it, and we have 2 at the high school. One of the 2 at the high school will do the reading, and the other one will do the math. And the one that will do the reading is certified not only in special education, but also in English grade 7 to 12. And the other teacher doing the math is a special education certified teacher.
Okay, and you don't know yet how many students because you're going to look at the data, right? Okay.
Christine, myself,
Is-
Roberta, and then our 2 ed consultants, we're asking them to come in that day to go through the data and pull the kids that are most need right now. It's also, those classrooms are to be fluid. So when if a student's coming in to catch up in reading, and they're able to catch up and then be able to go to the general education classroom with a learning support teacher, a paraprofessional in that room, they would cycle out, leaving up another space for another kid to cycle back in.
And do you have a number that you're looking at, like as far as a cap as to how many?
No more than 20 at the middle school, because that's what that caseload can handle by state regs.
Okay.
And this contract would give us those licenses, enough licenses to cover that? Okay. And in your data that you're gonna take a look at, are you gonna look at past classes of how many people this could have helped as well?
Well, we're gonna look at the current students right now, and yes, Pat, we can go into past. Right now, our concern is filling
What we
those
have,
rooms
Mhm.
with who needs it now.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
making a decision like that, I was like, wow, I wonder if we could have,
We,
what subset would we have put into that curriculum from,
we asked for teacher recommendations and we got teacher recommendations, but as you can imagine, some students on the list would not qualify. To be transparent, one student was put on the list because he gets antsy in his seat, but his scores are fine, so he does not require this type. That's why when we were going through, and between Christine and I at the middle school, we do know all the kids over there. We might not know them intensely, but we know the name and the basics. So when you see those names and you're going, wait a minute, this child hasn't come up all year, and then you look, it's like, this isn't a program for a kid who's having trouble sitting still. This is a program for a child who's having trouble reading or computing.
So we'll be looking at things like grades, we'll be looking at different diagnostics such as iReady, STAR results, any kind of
Progress
benchmarking
monitoring.
that they've done, progress monitoring
Aimsweb.
through AimsWeb.
PSSA.
Yes.
So,
So looking at all of those pieces to make those determinations on true levels, because any assessments that you give a student, you can't really say if you have a sixth grader, you're gonna have some assessments that say they're at third grade, you might have some that say they're at second grade, you might have some that say it's fourth. It's all pieces of a pie, so you have to put everything together and then make an informed decision. That's why we created a data team for that.
and then as we have, as you said, cycling new students in and out, will it be some kind of committee that makes an assessment to say, or whatever criteria that has to be met in order to bring that student in and also release the student back into?
So for the middle school, for example, we have way more than 20 kids recommended. So what we would do is take the first 20 that are most needy and put them through first. And if somebody's able to cycle back out, then we would hit that list again and bring the next person on the list in.
And at that point, it would be an IEP team decision, because
Yeah.
this would be written into a student's IEP as supplemental, say, learning support. It would be, this is something we would discuss with the whole IEP team. And then in order to, have more time, say, in gen ed, that would be, the IEP team would reconvene, have those discussions, look at the data, and make the decisions that they are ready to go into the gen ed curriculum.
So I'm going to give you a scenario, middle school. When you look at the data and you decide that there's 40 students that really need to be in this program, what are you going to do?
Well, they don't have to totally go on her caseload, that teacher's caseload. They can cycle in and out. So she will have a mixture of 6 through 8. So her caseload itself can only carry 20, but if she has a sixth grade Read 180 reading class that has 4 kids in it, we can put more kids in that class for her to teach. She just can't case manage them. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Some kids may only need the math,
Mhm.
some may only need the reading, and then you may have those that need both. So there's gonna be lots of crossover.
Yeah, and
What I'm worried about is not being able to service everyone that we need to service.
sure. And if
That's
we're in a situation where it was such an abundance, then we would have to come back to the table and,
Okay.
discuss some other options. But there's many other, under the umbrella of special education, there's many ways we can address those deficits. We can look at the WIN period. We have added a learning support period, say, at the middle school. So sometimes we say it's not necessarily that they would be a candidate for this room, which is going to be, a little bit more restrictive, but we can still provide those interventions in other mediums, such as, like I said, WIN or learning support period, and providing more of those supports that way in order to intensify their interventions.
So it's been budgeted. So do we
The
need to,
name of the program wasn't budgeted, but there were dollars budgeted for a program.
okay, so this needs to go on the agenda.
Yes.
Okay, so, is, I'm assuming that next month is okay. Okay, so what is the pleasure?
So it's 20,000 up front. What's the reoccurring cost?
The recurring cost should be more like $6,000, because that would just be, the initial $20,000 have to do with all the teacher additions and things like that. So just for the teacher, or the student licenses, it would be approximately $6,000 recurring annually.
Would you get the 20, would you bring it up to the 20 all the time? Even if you didn't? I mean, I know you say you have excess right now, let's say you have 30, you gotta break it down, but would you?
I budget more than enough for curriculum every year. Some years I've used it all, other years I have not. So I would probably leave it relatively the same, but I'm not in October yet, so. When Tammy gives me the budget sheets, October, November time, and we get this up and running and off the ground, and then I have a chance to look at it with, Sunday system was only a one-time cost per kit. But Ames Web is a recurring cost, much cheaper than the first cost, but, then I can look to see how this is going. But this, for me to know, we're gonna need 2 to 3 years, because any curriculum takes about 3 to 5 years to figure out if it's been effective.
But we'll start to lower our problems that we're having right now.
Or litigation
Well, that's what-
concerns.
Yeah,
I said that out loud,
that's,
but I-
You're right, no, you're absolutely right. 100%.
that's our hope, but I can't promise.
But you're saying that the lawyers that you talk with, they're like
It's always the one that comes up.
So
It's always the one that comes up.
20,000 is not price.
that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I think too,
to try.
what our plan as well is to take stock in how it's, working. And obviously, this is based on the student needs. I would say that as we plan for, next year's budget, not this current school year, or future school year, but the one following, if we do need to make some staffing adjustments, certainly we'll look into that, because I would never want us to shortchange 20 students because we don't have the staffing. So if we need to, look and readjust based upon the student needs in the IEP, and we're noticing huge gaps, obviously we're going to put staffing towards supporting those growth areas.
And Dr. Conrad did that this year, adding 2 more learning support
Right.
teachers, because
Right.
we exploded at PBI and middle school. So we have 2 new positions in those buildings, and actually, the new position at the middle school will be the supplement.
Okay, we're all right, to add it to the agenda?
Yep.
Okay,
Good.
all right.
Thank you.
So was D removed then? I thought so. Okay, and we discussed it in a regular meeting.
My seat
Okay.
on my agenda.
I know I do too, so I was like, okay, I think that's what we did.
We'll have that information in the data I discussed verbally. It will be posted not only on our district website, but it'll also be posted on the high school webpage, probably under counseling as well, just so that way it's accessible for parents. We want to make sure we're also enhancing earlier connection with our parents, so that way they see, hey, here's some websites that, even as a freshman or a sophomore, we should probably start engaging with, creating accounts to get ready for our future. So we'll be working on that. Obviously, there were some enhancements that we needed to do for our counseling department. One thing I will ask the board, because you guys have done a great job with this, if there's things that you're seeing that definitely looks either like it's out of date or we could update it, please let us know, because obviously it's a fluid, website. We want to make sure that we're getting important information out to our parents. So thank you to those that have reached out to us to say, hey, we need to put some more up-to-date information out there for parents. So we'll keep it up.
Okay. So at this time, any public on education and curriculum? Okay, moving on, transportation, I don't see anything.
Just an update, the RFP was advertised last Monday. It was sent out to 4 vendors directly, and we've got an additional 3 requests in the RFP since then.
Oh, okay, all right. Technology.
Sure, the only thing I have, good evening, everyone, it's better now that the screen's working. The only thing that we have on the agenda for tonight is the recycling tech equipment list. We're just seeking approval to put that on the board agenda. It is a list of equipment that is antiquated enough that it cannot be used any longer. So we're seeking approval to get rid of that for next agenda, or next board, sorry.
Any questions on that?
When we say outdated technology, what type of items, without opening that
Oh, there's a lot of stuff on there.
Yeah, there was.
There's iPads.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, there was
Like
a
Gen
lot.
2 iPads that we
Yeah.
can't really use anymore. There
Hard
could be
readers.
laptop carts that are no longer usable. Overhead projectors, VCRs, cart TVs, you know.
The good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, again, would we look at, seeing if anybody I don't know who,
Absolutely.
okay,
Can we reach out and see?
Yeah, absolutely.
okay.
Yeah,
Is that
probably
something that,
some-
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I didn't have any.
Is that an opportunity also to put out there whatever we can't donate to putting on an auction? I don't know.
Yeah, we do also use, this is normally going to a recycling company, so we do actually get money back for
Oh.
most of these items. Additionally, we aren't getting rid of, to be clear, we're looking to recycle the old and not usable items. We are keeping some laptop carts and stuff that we don't use for state testing and stuff, like, we're not getting rid of the whole inventory that we have. This is what we deem to be the excess, and quite honestly, not what we need to be.
But even when we do, even like with the books and stuff, for us to even be able to offer those people, we have to get the approval for discard because of where they were purchased. So we always try to get rid of things.
And I apologize, I forgot to ask about transportation. Anything on transportation? Okay. Technology, anything on technology? Okay, Jason, you were done, right?
Yep, that's all I got, thank you.
Okay. All right, up to policy? Nothing there?
Nothing, I appreciate our conversation, so I'm looking to make a revision that would say not, I just put the language there, I'm sorry, I just sent it to Kathy, sorry, give me 1 second. Not to exceed $250. I think that you both bring up great points, and we don't want it to be an open, item. I'd rather it be canned, but with the language that they're recommending. So I think the hybrid is, a nominal amount not to exceed $250. If everyone's okay with that, it's a really good. I'm glad we have these discussions because it's important that we all have to be on
What's
board.
here, it's what might be here, what someone else is going.
Agreed. Yeah.
That's.
No, that's good. Yeah. So that's all I have.
Okay, policy? Okay. Superintendent? Report says nothing? Okay. Security? What? Security? Okay. And guess what? We're at athletics. I don't.
For security?
Everyone's looking around.
I
Hey,
just had two things, but you can't share the link. Can you share the link?
I likely can, if you give me a minute, you wanna talk?
It's in the agenda, yes.
Yeah, I can get it. I'll pull it on.
I know you had tasked me about the huddle and the streaming. I worked on that diligently. It's actually really simple. It's just gonna be a link on our website. It'll take us right to the landing page of the streaming site. Some of our sports are already putting in their schedules for the upcoming season. It also gives us past games that they can view and see, and allows our community members to look at those games as well. I shared it with a couple people who come out to our games and all the time, and they had no problem getting to the landing page. So this will be the landing page that
that's really cool.
our folks who want to watch our streaming will come to. There'll be a link. I met with IT and Terrence. They're updating our portion of the website to reflect this change. You can see it's playing a pass game against South there. But if you look on the right-hand side, you can see volleyball is already putting theirs in. I've talked to football. They're going to start putting theirs in as well. And both soccer and field hockey.
Look out, ESPN.
Yeah, I might be able to get rid of the cable.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I kept it was because of PB Sports.
Wow. That's
I see your games at East Stroudsburg, so if another opposition has,
Huddle, they share it with us.
and then our parents or grandparents, whoever, can also get away games as well.
Right, so it can, yeah, again, if the other institution will share it with us, yes.
So they have to share a link with you, or they share?
No, it'll go right to our page if they share it on their Huddle.
If that's something you guys back, like,
Yeah, I'll reach
Hey,
out.
we'll
I know
do it for
East
you,
Stroudsburg
we'll do
South
it.
and us have gotten rid of the Pixelot camera and we moved to this. Some school districts still have Pixelot and have renewed it. So we wouldn't be able to get that because again, they're held to that contract where they can't stream third party.
Thank you so much for doing this. This is phenomenal.
So it's really easy. I know you would ask for it, but I don't think I need to.
No, it's just a link.
It's
Yeah.
click and go.
That's great.
And even when we played Upper Dublin for lacrosse, for girls lacrosse, they brought their own huddle camera here to stream for their fans.
Oh.
Cool.
Right.
Nice.
So that was pretty cool. They set that up. So it's gonna be an awesome opportunity for us.
Yeah.
Let's say we're in that situation somewhere else that isn't huddle.
Mhm.
We can bring our huddle camera with us, pop it up and stream that as opposed to paying whatever I had to pay for the Springfield game. I can remember to cancel.
So Jim, we could just embed this link on our
Yeah, so I
sports
met with
page.
Terrence last week.
Okay.
We had some changes with, it's not called Family ID anymore, it's just called Arbiter. So there were some changes that we needed to make on our end with athletics. So I met with Terrence just this past week. I don't know if he's updated yet, but I gave him a list. We went page for page on there. I do see he did change some. He changed it to St. Luke's Sports Medicine now instead of, it was athletic trainers right there. So he is working on updating the system of what we need.
Thank you.
In addition, just a recap, we had a great spring season. We had our track sent 7 athletes out of Shippensburg, 5 who qualified, 2 alternates. In case one or 2 of our athletes in the 4x400 were injured, we could put our alternates in. So 7 of those plus coaches traveled out. They did well. I mean, they didn't, qualify in the top 8, but we're proud that they went out to states and represented Pleasant Valley. Again, as Mr. Giesecke brought up earlier, our softball team, new coach this year, took it all the way to the district finals. Was a district runner-up this year, walked away with the silver. Very proud of those girls. They did a great job all season, especially with the wet conditions this spring with schedule changes and all, cold weather and all, did an awesome job. And again, more accolades to our girls lacrosse team, again, making it to the state quarterfinals again this year. We have a new coach, as Mr. Giesecke brought up earlier. She was our varsity assistant for 5 years. So I look forward to her bringing her own, but also bringing the continuance or the smooth transition with the girls as we move forward with her guidance for coaching our girls as we move forward. We also hired a new boys varsity basketball coach. He was our varsity assistant. We had 6 candidates apply for the job, and he was the best out of the 6 that applied for it. Really excited with girls basketball. They held their camp already this summer, and girls lacrosse both had 60 plus young girls come out. So much that they had to hold part of their camp at PBE for those girls that were PBE and PBI. Those girls went to PBI to have the camp because they had more than was expected for that camp. We're continuing. We have some soccer camps coming up. So our teams are really giving back to the community by offering opportunities for our younger athletes to work with those varsity players. Congratulations to Mr. Giesecke as well. He's been appointed to the District 11 committee. He will serve on the District 11 committee as the school board liaison on District 11. I believe you had your first meeting last week.
Yes.
What's that?
Coach, I'm going to talk to you as soon as you finish.
So he will be representing Pleasant Valley on the District 11 level of our athletic community. So congratulations to that. Couple things looking forward to the fall. I'd like to pilot with all 3 of our seasons a captain's breakfast. We hear from our coaches and all what's going on. We really don't focus on our athletes as much. So I would like to hold 2 captain's breakfasts twice a season to get the athletes' perspective of how the season's going, how sportsmanship is going, what's the venue like, when you go out and play on there, how do you feel with fan behavior and all. I just want to get the athletes' view of how the season is going. Many times we have what we get from the coaches, in our department, we really don't hear from our athletes. And I think it's something sort of kind of what we do with our EPC SAC kids that go down and they talk and they share with the league how our sports contests and all are going throughout the year. So I'd like to bring that back more on our end and hold 6 breakfasts a year, 2 in each season, in the middle and towards the end of the season to see how our athletes feel we're doing our jobs in the athletics department, our coaches and our staff at the athletic department. So that's something I want to pilot this year. I think it'll be successful for us in helping move our department forward with providing more opportunities for our athletes that are here in Pleasant Valley. So that's kind of my update for spring. I look forward to the fall. And as Dr. Conrad pointed out earlier, we've already got people in the fields. We got people in the gyms. Randy, thank you with all the work at the middle school to clear all that stuff out of the gyms because we didn't have an area because the high school was being used to get ready for cafeteria in one gym and the movement on the HVAC and electricity in our gym. So again, kudos to them. And kudos to our summer workers. I don't know if you've driven by the stadium or whatnot, but our summer workers power wash the bleachers. And it
Oh,
looks so
great,
much cleaner.
great.
You could see the progression last week as they
Thank you.
started from one end and moved to the other.
That is.
And they really worked hard with those kids that we brought on as summer workers. So kudos to your guys for that and getting that done as well.
Great.
Okay, I have one thing, like I said, at that meeting, which was last week, they did talk about timers for track. How are we coming?
So that's next year,
that's gonna be pushed
2026,
up.
I believe, 27
Right.
school year.
So,
That will be, so I will need to budget for, I believe, Mr. Walters did the math
Yeah, I
with
remember that.
hiring the outside person would be more costly.
so are we looking at wait till then, or are you looking?
I did not budget, I did not budget for this year, so we'd have to budget it for the following year.
So if that was something we had in St. Luke's, so we tried to throw it into it, maybe?
They're saying looks funny.
Yeah, you get supported.
I'm depleted, I'm already.
I'll say this, worth to discuss, but it's a very valid point, so. We're talking about, we would just need it for the spring, is that correct? So we have a little bit of time.
But
to
no, it would be
discuss.
for cross-country.
Would be-
too. We only
that's what I
have
was
one
wondering.
whole meet for cross-country.
But they also, at that meeting, they also praised Tony Bush for the job she had done. with
Yes.
lacrosse. That was that time.
Anyone else? All right, any athletics? I think I missed security too.
Anything I
I'm not
missed, Mr. O'Keefe?
Oops, I'm sorry, did you-
I'm sorry. No, there's a lot going on.
Got it all?
Okay. Anything from the public? Okay. I just would like, and I forgot about it during the regular meeting, but if we could somehow, I think, Dr. Howard, you can ask the principals to remind the parents that we are providing supplies again for our students.
I believe they did send something out at the end of the school year, but I'll do it again.
Yeah, just because I saw that out there, like,
Yeah.
somebody's
Yeah.
like,
And I think
Yeah.
towards the end, like, a lot of things are going out, so I think sometimes, you know, they get a call and you're like,
They're probably
I
looking
can
for
do
the
that.
lists.
yeah, they
Like,
are,
there's
that's
no
what my
list.
person was doing,
You
so.
don't need a list.
Yeah, so just to remind them that we are again providing those supplies.
Yeah.
And again, I'd like to echo what Mr. Smale said about our custodial and our maintenance staff. I really appreciate all their hard work and everything they're doing because it is a lot. I don't remember ever a summer where we've got so much going on. So kudos to them and I really appreciate all they're doing. So thank you. Anyone else? Okay, we are adjourned.